Welcome again to Top Saturday League for the 19th round of the Winfield Premiership, and another vital game for both Western Suburbs and Cronulla Sutherland here at Lidcombe Oval. The final 5 aspirations of both clubs are going to be seriously affected by a loss here today, and for that reason this is going to be a very tight and determinedly fought struggle. Western Suburbs have named the same backline which played against Illawarra last week, but the suspension of Bob Cooper and injuries to other forwards have forced Terry Fernley to select almost a completely new pack. Paul Merlo and Michael Duke are in the second row instead of Cooper and George Morocco. Gary Collison replaces Arthur Mountier as hooker, and Bruce Clark gets his chance at prop in place of Tom Arbour. This pack will be hard put to hold the Cronulla forwards, who line up unchanged from the pack which got on top of Souths last week. However, the Sharks have an important change in the centres, with number 3 Ian Forrest standing in for Steve Rogers, who's on test duty in Brisbane. Dane Sorensen is skipper for the day. Terry Fernley is banking on Western Suburbs winning all of their remaining home games here at Lidcombe to secure a place in the finals. After all, Wests have won 40 of their last 52 matches played here at Lidcombe Oval since 1978. But their task today won't be easy against Cronulla, who coincidentally have scored exactly the same number of points as Wests in their 31 meetings since Cronulla first entered the competition in 1967. Last year, Cronulla won here at Lidcombe by 12-9 and then scored another close win at Endeavour by 1 point. This year's first round was also a close result, although Wests won by 10 points to 8. So everything points to another very close struggle under the control of Jack Danzy. Wests have won the toss and are running with this southerly breeze in the first half, and the kick-off from Miller goes to Wayne Smith, who immediately will kick downfield and put the ball back into Cronulla's territory. That's Gary Wright, the 5'8". He's surrounded by the Wests forwards. They knew the kick was on immediately the ball was kicked off. Gardner, the centre, playing it. This is Hatch. McNamara. He's a big man, former Queenslander. Cronulla wanted him to fill the boots vacated by Paul Kahn. That's Haddock. Right. Forrest. That was a bit of misunderstanding as Mullane came into the movement from fullback. Hurst. Phil Hurst, 15 metres from his own halfway, or from the halfway line. Penalty is against the Western Suburbs defenders. They were offside. Jack Danzy, noticing Jim Lease and Terry Lamb particularly, were up inside the 5 metres. First penalty to Cronulla inside their own half.
I expect the Western Suburbs forwards will have a very close look at the Cronulla lineup, and particularly the positional play of Kurt Sorensen. I've noticed even this early stage, Kurt's playing very wide.
Rolling Beckett, Dane Sorensen, who's leading Cronulla today. I feel though he would very much like to be playing for New Zealand in the test in Brisbane later this evening. It's Kurt Sorensen, he likewise. Miller, very constructive player. Back to Beckett, Haddock, McNamara, trailed through by Hatch. In West Territory, Haddock, right. Kurt Sorensen's lost the ball and it's picked up by Clark. West in possession on halfway. Lee beat a dummy half. Merlo. Collison. Cox. Duke. Who's played 5'8" and block mostly. Cox. Getting it moving on the blind side is Merlo. Playing it forward. Clark coming on the burst. End of 6 tackles against Western Suburbs, 32 metres out in centre field.
West a great start to this game. Terry Fernley must be very pleased with them. No doubt he's told them he's got nothing to lose. This is a great break by Cox.
Break by Cox, and he's fell beautifully close to the line. 8 metres out, and a lovely tackle there by Hurst. Now West clearing it quickly, leaks away to Lamb. And that Cronulla defence really recovered quickly, as they had to. 15 metres out, Lease. In front of the Cronulla post, 15 out. Merlot. Back to Collison. Lamb is wide. Inside is Clark. Now Collison dummy half, looking for somebody to call, and it's Greg Cox. His kick across the face of goals. Continual pressure in the first 8 minutes from Wests. They haven't been able to breach this defence yet.
No, that's so, and Cronulla, of course, they want this ball and they need to hold it. They've made a couple of handling errors earlier in the game, and what they've got to do is hold it for 5 tackles and work this West defence out of position, and of course Cronulla try and get out of their own half.
Dane Sorensen playing it. Hatch inside to Kurt Sorensen, who can't be allowed to run by any side. Good tackle by Clark. Forrest, that's right, and Gardner really steamed onto it from the centres. 1 to go for Cronulla, almost to halfway. Haddock, long kick downfield, driving winger Boland back. Warren Boland's got his fullback Smith in support. Cronulla forwards followed the kick down quickly. Boland, a good run. Good support inside, Terry Lamb. Back to Collison. Leabeater. Merlot. Leabeater, or it's Wayne Smith. Again in amongst the forwards, and Jimmy Lease, good support, and away goes Ross Conlon, fullback to beat. He's got support, he gives it to Anderson, who's going to score under the posts. That's a lovely try to Western Suburbs. All started by Wayne Smith, and what superb backing up as the ball carrier about to hit the deck was able to unload to a support, and it was instinctive because they knew the ball carrier had the supporting player alongside.
Yes, this is an outstanding try, and also the fact that they support the ball carrier, and what a fine pass for Smith going down to the ground, Lease supporting him, and watch the combination of the centres here. Conlon making a good break, drawing Mullane, looking inside. He knows he's got his centre partner there, and a beautiful pass to Anderson, and look at this fellow put on the speed. Jimmy C trying desperately to get hold of him, but a fine try.
And it was started right back in on West Zone quarter line. Wayne Smith with that sidestep around McNamara, and as he was going to ground, he knew Lease was there. Lease did exactly the same as he picked up Conlon in support. Watch the way though that Conlon draws the fullback Mullane. Mullane commits himself to the tackle as he must do, and then a beautifully timed pass at exactly the right moment goes to Anderson, who was left unopposed to race over under the posts to open the scoring in this match with a good try. And from in front, Greg Cox converts, so Wests go to a lead of 5 points to 0. Play restarted by Gavin Miller, whose kick goes again to Smith, and here's the kick once more. Most of the Wests team already downfield, and good tactics there by Smith as he kicked away into an open space. He didn't kick directly to a man, Mullane, and here we have Cronulla in possession, but they're in their own quarter. Winger Philip Hurst, dummy half, picks up David Hatch outside, but he runs it himself. A good determined run by the winger too. Now to Beckett. Haddock. A nicely timed pass to McNamara, but that was ruled to be forward, deliberately forward. Well, we'll look at that again, and it'll be interesting to see. Jack Danzy was back with the defensive line, but he had no doubt about this pass.
Yes, Jack Danzy was well ahead of it. He's come straight in. There's the pass from Haddock out there to Forrest, and that was the little one. It certainly didn't appear to me. It looked as though the pass was good.
Well, he's guided that through. Now perhaps an unlucky penalty against Cronulla when they were looking to throw the ball about, but West have got the 2 points to lead 7-0.
It's pretty obvious that Cronulla are in trouble at this stage. West have opened the game up very well. I like the way they're using the kicking game. Greg Cox putting that ball very deep down, and also Wayne Smith has also been using the kick to advantage. And we've got Cronulla pinned down, and once again they're in only just in their own territory, but with the way the West defence have been performing, Cronulla have got the work in front of them to make breaks.
Dane Sorensen on halfway to Beckett. Haddock. Pass right, that's McNamara. On halfway, back to Beckett. Haddock. Miller. Past Hatch, that's Mullane from fullback. Good break, good pass to Hurst. Chased by Boland in field. The ball's gone loose. Cronulla have got it, but it was knocked on. Doesn't that show you the value of fullback coming in to the back line with Mullane opening up the West's defence?
Cronulla's problem in this game to date is that they haven't been able to hold the ball. We did see another error there, and there's been far too many in the game so far. And this, of course, has been enabling West to have the opportunity of getting possession back, as we see now.
That was a good scrum win to West's. It was a nice, good, clean scrum too. One of the best we've seen for a while. Smith again joining in Conlon. To Boland. Lamb. Merlot. Collison. Lee Beater. Collison, blindside, Smith to kick, grab a kick for the line, over the head, won't find it. Mullane to the quarter line, caught by Lamb. That's Gary Wright, felled by Lease. Now West's fall immediately into the straight line of defence, and Cronulla, I think, would well be missing the incisive running of Steve Rogers. Ball lost. Cronulla has still got it. Beckett, McNamara, decoy, and that's Miller. And he passed straight into the hands of Greg Cox. That defence caused the error there by moving up so quickly. Merlot. I don't think Paul Merlot knows whether he's playing prop or second row. He seems to be taking the first pass most of the time. That's Lee Beater. No, it's Wayne Smith. Lee Beater waiting for it this time. Here he is. Collison. That's a good break too. Caught the defence napping. 15 metres out. One tackle to go. Out to Cox. Terry Lamb, a little kick up. Mullane coming through. And that's a try on the way. With Michael Duke in possession 5 metres out, and that mistake by Mullane might well lead to a try as Bruce Clark is 4 metres out. Right in front, Collison, Smith, Lamb, past him to Conlon. Steve Anderson's going to play it. Merlot, he's almost through. 4 tackles gone, 8 metres out. Wayne Smith. Going, he's over. Well, indirectly, the bomb has led to that second try. West's regaining possession and just waiting to get the Cronulla defence out of position to see fullback Wayne Smith score wide out in the corner.
Yeah, good team football here. Cronulla defence are mesmerised at this stage. Smith seeing the defence, Cronulla defence going out far too early, and he should have been brought down there. 2-3 tackles he goes through. Shocking Cronulla defence.
And you'll see West play the ball wide to that side, and Wayne Smith, who's got a very good step, firstly gets away from McNamara, then Mullane, and then that last diving tackle. Gavin Miller restarts play with Greg Cox missing with the conversion attempt of Smith's try. 10-0 is the score, and Smith again puts the ball deep to Mullane on his own quarter line, very safe. Has the West's defence to beat, straight into Lamb, who's one of the surest tacklers in the team.
Yes, and at least half of his teammates supporting him too. I'd like to see the Cronulla wingers get down and support Mick Mullane. He's out there on his own. He needs that support. It's obviously planned by West to play Cronulla in their own half, and these tactics are working out beautifully. West leading 10-0 at the stage.
Roland Beckett. Kurt Sorensen. West ball, lead, Collison it is on it. Lease dummy half. That's Clark. Duke. Conlon. Still got it back to Duke. Lease. West passed the ball plenty of times. They were mostly flat-footed. Now Merlot. Lamb. Lamb accelerating over halfway. Boland alongside, forward. Only just, but it was. The pass probably would have been all right if Lamb hadn't been held back, but the defence had him by the jersey, and so the pass went forward.
Yes, see Lamb here trying to break through. You'll watch on the far side, Boland coming up in support. Now, as he bursts through the tackle, he sees Boland coming up, and that's where he lets it go. I think the decision was quite right. The ball has gone forward.
West doing it very well indeed, and Cronulla are in a lot of trouble. Cronulla virtually have themselves to blame. They've lost the ball far too many times. They've won that particular scrum, but they must hold it for at least 5 tackles.
And Hurst coming in to make the extra man from the blindside wing.
Western Suburbs, on the other hand, have appreciated possession. Their match play has been excellent, and up until now, their defence has been outstanding. You see there, plenty of cover defence.
David Hatch, hit by Lease. Jim C. Dane Sorensen. Paddock, McNamara.
McNamara gives me the impression that he's not fit. He doesn't seem to be hitting that line as hard as he should. He appears to have a leg injury.
Well, 1 tackle to go, and Cronulla have spun it wide to Mullane, up from fullback, and a lovely pass to Hurst. And a good covering tackle on the far side by Wayne Smith. West have got the ball. It was 6 tackle coming up anyway, so it would have been a scrum. Merlot. Collison. That's Duke. A lightweight second rower, but he knows what the game's all about. Collison. Terry Lamb. It's a very good change of pace.
My very word, and they're combining well the halves, Greg Cox and Terry Lamb, both with a kicking game. In fact, the West's match plan has been played out to perfection, using the kicking game. Again, Smith up there, whilst he does find the touch there, but he's been using the long ones, and also for the touch kicking, both Terry Lamb and Greg Cox. So it's obvious that Terry Fernley, their coach, has told them, get out there, use the window advantage by kicking, and that's exactly what they've been doing.
Western Suburbs front row found guilty of collapsing in the scrum. Penalty to Cronulla 20 metres inside their own half, and that's about 8 minutes before half-time. The score is 10-0. Wests are leading.
Scrums presently West's 3, Cronulla's 2, and the penalties are 6-2 in favour of Cronulla, and errors 9-0 in favour of Cronulla.
On halfway, McNamara. Beckett, Paddock, Hatch. Has a very good step. David Hatch hurt in that tackle. Dane Sorensen looking to unload it. Beckett. Still got it back to Dane Sorensen. Blind side, that's McNamara. Starting to spread that defence a bit thinly, and they've got a chance. Away goes Haddock, and he's going to score on the first try for Cronulla. That's the value of standing up in the tackle and being allowed to unload the ball, and Perry Haddock on the spot to take full advantage of it. First points for the Sharks, 7 minutes before half-time.
It's a try that St George needed badly here. Beckett holding that ball and letting it go, as you say, keeping that ball alive. McNamara, beautiful pass here to Haddock. Haddock positioning himself in the gap. He's caught the West defence napping, and then Smith trying desperately to get hold of him, but a good first try for Cronulla.
Fullback Wayne Smith, number 1, as you see, standing pretty close up to the ruck, and it's from this pass that goes from Dane Sorensen across behind the ruck to McNamara that draws Smith into the defensive line, and once being committed there was no defence to beat, and Perry Haddock was put in the clear by that pass, and he went racing over to score first points. Ross Conlon restarts. Dane Sorensen converted the try while we were watching the replay, and it's 10 points to 5 in favour of the Magpies. The ball kicked dead, and it'll come out to the Cronulla quarter line for the tap restart. And Dane Sorensen, the makeshift kicker, having really no trouble with that conversion attempt. 10-5 the score. Gary Wright, former Souths player. Dane Sorensen, brother Kurt is lurking out alongside him, and it overrun him, in fact. Beckett, Haddock, Miller past him, that's right. He's got the ability to split the defence. Miller, Wests, having to drop back as that kick by Miller looks too long. Into touch on the full. Play to come back for a scrum just in Cronulla's half. And scrum collapsing again, having a tendency to do so anyway. Penalty this time goes to Wests, and it's against Beckett. Greg Cox, who himself has done duty with the Sharks. Not a good pass, but it was well handled by Lamb, picking it up on the half volley to Merlot. Lamb, Duke. Dangerous tackle, but he didn't seem to hurt him. Now Lease, quick passing to Cox, had to juggle it. Leabeater. Lamb, here's the kick again. That's well placed. Mullane in trouble, well taken. Good fullbacks play that by Mick Mullane. Haddock. C. Driven to the touchline, not over it though. Beckett. Dane Sorensen. Nice tackle by Lease. Now that's 5 tackles gone. Gary Wright can't free it, and that's half-time.
West leading Cronulla 10 points to 5, and West really played good football in that first half, but it's taken Cronulla something like half an hour to start to get their attacking game going. They finished well to the first half, and I expect the second half they've got to adopt the tactics West used in that first half. Use the wind, use the long kicks, and I'd like to see a lot of Mullane in this second half. Still anyone's game. Cronulla have the wind. If they use it, then they've got every chance of winning this game.
Ross Conlon putting the ball into play for the second half, and the kick is a long one, and he kept it away from the fullback by putting it out to winger Jim C. I don't think C had the confidence to kick, but I doubt it'll be too much longer before we see Cronulla do just that. Miller. Gavin Miller, who is playing with his third club, hasn't played a great deal in the forwards, played more lock forward than anything else, but here's the current lock, Kurt Sorensen, a good break. David Hatch. Sorry, Haddock, Dane Sorensen, picked up 5/8 right. Beckett, Perry Haddock's kick, sending Wayne Smith back, but it didn't matter. That kick was well placed by Haddock, kicking it away from Smith, and it was always going to find touch 10 metres out from the line.
The very tactics we were talking about, Cronulla would want to, with this ball, consolidate on their position at the moment. They're 5 points behind. Possession here would give them a golden opportunity to level the scores.
Well raked by Collison for Wests. Greg Cox ran into trouble on the open side of the scrum. Lease. Collison. Merlot. Lamb. Clark. Lee Beater. So West are about 20 metres from halfway. Cox. Lease. That's a good break by the lock forward. Support. Quickly making the opportunity. Away goes Anderson. Will he have the pace? He's racing for the line and he's going to go over. That's try number 2. And that try came from nowhere. And it was Jimmy Lease back near his own halfway who opened up the attack. And that is a lovely try.
What a time to score a try. Fine work here, but where's the defence there? Lease going inside, working it out, and Lamb supports Lease beautifully, and he looks out wide and he gets that support in Anderson. And look at this fellow, away he goes. He's got plenty of pace. Lane just not in the event, trying to get across, but he's just got too much speed. A good second try to Steve Anderson.
And from head on, Jimmy Lease takes this pass here from Cox. Watch the step as he gets around David Hatch straight up the middle. And as he came to the tackle of Perry Haddock, he picked up Terry Lamb to his right. And Lamb did precisely the same thing. He drew the winger, and then that acceleration from Anderson really astounded the Cronulla defence. And Chris Gardner couldn't get within cue of him. And what a great moment for this fellow's second try. Looks good. It's there. Straight over. Good kick. Read the breeze to perfection, kicking against it, and he's given Wests that 10-point margin. So Cronulla now have to hit back immediately. Michael Duke. It's an amazing game, rugby league. You can see a side pressuring their opponent's goal line for minutes on end. And from 20 metres out, they'll try and try and try, all in vain, and can't break the defence. And then they start a movement back in their own half, and they can sprint 70 metres to score.
That's true, but the defence on the edge of that Cronulla ruck was terrible. To think that Lease on that situation did, in fact, run into the ruck. It was not even challenged. It was very poor defence from Cronulla's part.
Well, we're 5 metres from halfway, and one tackle for the Magpies. Quick passing, Lease. That's Broughton, the winger. Left the ball on the ground.
Not a very good feeling if you're a Cronulla supporter for the West to get that 10-point margin. Only 3 minutes into the second half. Cronulla have the ball, but they're going to have to hold it and use it.
Well, they're using it quickly now, and there it's lost. And Anderson's got it. Another error. Although I think that time the ball was actually knocked out of his hands by the defence. Merlot. Haven't seen him weave his magic today, Paul Merlot. He may yet do so, though. Up wide is Clark, running with the centres. Quick passing and overlap there. Away goes Ross Conlon, chased by Haddock. Haddock misses him. He's got support. He looks in field, gets it away, and Terry Lamb racing to the line. He's only a metre short. That's a lovely tackle by Jim C. There must be a penalty to Wests. And there Terry Lamb playing the ball, and Wayne Smith not able to clear it. Well, this is a vital kick for Cox. Up high and straight. And vital because that now gives West a clear lead of 12 points, and that means that Cronulla now will have to score 3 converted tries to win this game from here.
Terry Fernley must be very pleased at this stage of the game. The West thoroughly deserve their lead at this stage. They haven't quite got it wrapped it up, but I'd like to be in that position. 17 points to 5. All I have to do now is nothing silly, hold the ball and just not close it up, but work it safely, and they can well and truly wrap this game up.
Second rower Duke, about 18 metres from halfway. Collison is dummy half. That's Clark. Smith. Caught by Miller. Back to Lamb. Cox. Terry Lamb nearly through. Away. Looks for support. Terry Lamb over halfway. Here's his winger. It's knocked forward. And it's Anderson again and on to Boland. Boland gets it away. And that's Ross Conlon. He's over. And that's a good try. Well, look at that again. And you might think there was a knock on there. But the Cronulla defence knocked the pass down. The referee signalled play on. West recovered and scored their 4th try of the game, and that makes it 20-5. Here it is.
There's West having a picnic again. Letting that ball go. Cox and Lamb again having a tremendous game. Just brushes off Hatch there, looking for his support. You see where that pass is actually knocked down by the Cronulla player, and Anderson picking it up there onto Boland. Boland inside to Conlon. Conlon just steps off his right foot, goes through, leaves the Cronulla defence for dead, and an easy try.
And yet again, it was another try scored from inside West's half. In fact, right down near their own quarter line. Watch the way that Lamb pushes away from Hatch there. He attempts to get this pass away, but it was knocked down by Hurst and regathered. And then the pass went to Boland and back inside. And a lovely step here by Conlon to get inside the desperate attempt by Jim C. Cox can wrap the game up now. He's done it. It's a handy lead. 17 points is the margin, and that's with about 30 minutes to go. Merlot. Cox. Duke. Leabeater. Cox. Lamb. Collison, who really hasn't done a thing wrong today.
Well, interference in the play of the ball there. Jack Danzig obviously not allowing that to go on, and he's clamped down on that ever since the game started today.
Been very much a faultless display today by Jack Danzig.
Yes, he's refereed quite well, and I've been the happiest feature as far as I'm concerned is that the players have been kept well apart, giving the opportunity for good open football.
Lamb leaving it forward. One of few West errors to give Cronulla possession, but Cronulla have knocked it on as well. Touch judge coming on, and 2 replacements coming out for Cronulla. Well, West got the ball from the scrum somehow, and they've got it across to Cox, to Conlon, to Broughton, looking for his support across there. Haddock to beat, can't do it. Haddock and Forrest, the tacklers for the Sharks. 5 metres Sharks territory. Cox. Broughton, now it's Smith. Got a heavy hit there from Miller. Back to Leadbeater. And again Miller tackling like a demon. Collison, and again Miller the tackler. Lamb. Clark. Straight down the middle. Good support in Lease. Lease in the clear. Support there. Away goes Wayne Smith. And that's try number 2 to the Western Suburbs fullback. And again Jimmy Lease cutting them the ribbons up the centre of the ruck. And what's a superb backing up that we've seen from the Western Suburbs side today.
It's a straight down the middle of the Cronulla ruck, and it goes just to show the defence of the Cronulla side. And Clark setting it up right down the middle, looking inside, Lease positioning himself beautifully. And that great reverse pass, he could have passed it to any 2-3 Western Suburbs players, but there's Smith right under the post.
And the value of Clark, watch him here as he comes straight onto the ball for this reverse pass. Straight through he goes, caught by Wright, Lease is inside, Lease draws fullback Mullane, there's Wayne Smith, Smith racing down and scoring under the posts. Cox sneaking it through to give Wests a lead of 27-5. Ball put into play, and Wests have it near their own line. Good weaving run. Charlie Calafay, the replacement player for Bruce Clark, taking it out of the ruck. Merlot. He's been pretty well marked today by this Cronulla defence, but while they've been sitting on him, players like Lease and Clark have been able to do the damage. Cox. Grab a kick for the line. Will be successful. No? Yes. Mick Mullane, a case of not having done enough work on the tripwire. Very nearly kept it in play.
This game is getting to the embarrassing stage for Cronulla, and a big effort is required. Western Suburbs got the game well and truly wrapped up at 27 points to 5. They've got to do something, Cronulla, and save face. At the moment, they're getting a hiding.
And that's 20 minutes to go. The score 27-5. Calafay putting Hurst to the ground. Dane Sorensen. Miller. On the burst, Mick Mullane. Good tackle by Collison. Right. Miller. I wonder what Cronulla's scoreline would have looked like had Miller not been out there today. Six tackles gone. This scrum about 28 metres from Western Suburbs goal line. Up the middle goes Smith again. Picked up Lease, ever present in support. Out to Conlon, quick pass to Broughton. Broughton with loads of pace, pace to burn. Racing for the line, and they won't get him. And that'll be try number 6 under the posts. And again, Jimmy Lease appearing on the spot to take the pass and keep the ball alive. Wayne Smith did the good work.
Yes, he started that, Lease. You see Smith again up in that back line. And the sign of a good lock forward, because he backed up Smith there after giving him the ball. The wide pass out to Conlon. Conlon realising that he's got nowhere to move, shoots it out to Broughton, and look at Broughton go. He's got all the room in the world. Cronulla defence, where are they? Non-existent. Goes over for a very easy try.
Cox rubs more salt into the wound. What an extraordinary lead by Western Suburbs when just about all of the experts have tipped Cronulla to win this game. And this is Wayne Smith, a very good stepper as always, but it was this ability to unload there to Jimmy Lease, who was on the burst as he took it. And then watch this quick pass as it was relayed by Conlon. He's cut out the other centre, and Steve Broughton then pushed away from this attempted tackle by Steve Hardy. Hardy couldn't quite get him. Gavin Miller missing too, and Broughton bringing it around.
There's no doubting that Steve Rogers out in that back line, even if he was marked, he would still take a lot of that West defence away from what we see now. The fact that they've got to keep an eye on him, and whilst they're watching Steve Rogers in that centre, they're not watching other Cronulla players, and he's, without a doubt, his mere presence on that field is worth a tremendous amount to the club.
Terry Leadbeater's pass there has gone to Cronulla, and they've got another chance. Steve Hardy. Beckett, Dane Sorensen. Probably haven't seen enough of Kurt Sorensen running onto the ball in the second half. Here's Miller. Here's Kurt coming up inside. Gavin Miller's through. He's over. That's a good try to Gavin Miller. Scored against his old club, but it's a fair reward for the amount of work he's put into this match. And if ever it was fitting for a Cronulla player to score a try, it certainly is Gavin Miller.
To go along with that, this fellow, he's tried hard all day. His defence has been exceptional. He's running sideways there, but he sees the gap, straightens up, steps, beautiful step, leaving Smith on the ground there, and he goes through for a very well-deserved try.
Dane Sorensen, who's no mean kicker either, steers it straight between the uprights, and that makes the score slightly more respectable, 32-10. From head on, you'll see the gap open up as Miller just went across field, then straightened up, and he got inside that attempted tackle by Cox. Wayne Smith very nearly got him, but then he got out of that tackle and more or less just strolled over for that try. This is Brett Gale, who is only a youngster, just out of school, but a great prospect for the future. He'll come on as a replacement shortly. West's through Greg Cox, 25 metres out from their line. Now Lamb pushing out of another good tackle. Lease. Merlot putting it to the ground, forcing the knock on. Now on come the two replacements, Cole Dennis, number 16, the hooker, and Brett Gale, number 17, a lock or second rower, coming on. And the players coming off will be Gary Collison and I think George, second rower Michael Duke. Gary Collison, who's done a great job in the scrums, leading the scrum count by 9-7 at the moment when he was replaced. Gale. Back to Dennis. Lamb. Conlon. Lovely step. Conlon support. Picks up Merlot. To halfway, the ball's loose. That's Mullane. Beckett, Haddock, Miller. Brett Gale going low in the tackle. Kurt Sorensen. That's Hardy. Got out of Leadbeater's tackle and got the pass to Kurt. Right out to the backs, Forrest. And good backing up by Wright to get around him quickly. This is 10 metres inside West's territory. Cronulla still looking for more points. Miller. And Beckett on tackle number 6, put down. Scrum collapsing, penalty to Cronulla. Had to be. There's no way in the world the ball could have got out of that scrum with the West's forwards on the ground. What a great game this fellow's had.
My very word, he's had a hand in many of the tries. Scored 6 in all, and I'm sure that Jim Lees has had a hand in at least 4 of them. It's an outstanding game. His positional play and defence has been excellent.
And Cronulla missing with a chance there, putting the ball into touch in goal, not finding touch. The breeze carrying him further downfield, and that gives the advantage back to Western Suburbs, who can now drop out from their own quarter line.
I can understand Cronulla's feelings that I'm sure all they want to do is to hear that full-time siren, because they've been well and truly trounced here today. They've been given a football lesson by a side that we expected may have problems with their forward lineup, but it wasn't to be. Right from the offset, they started throwing the ball around and in fine style, and both in close, in tight, and out wide. They've really shown us how to score attractive tries. And as we mentioned before, Jack Dancy keeping the sides well and truly onside has enabled us to see some very good tries scored. In fact, we've had 6 to Western Suburbs and 2 to Cronulla. 8 tries in all.
Cronulla making certain of putting the ball into touch that time. Gavin Miller not looking for as much distance. Well, Cronulla in the last 5 minutes of this game can at least put more points on the board. Haddock, Dane Sorensen. Beckett, Haddock, Wright. Past Forrest, it's gone to Gardner. Forrest is dummy half, 15 metres out right in front. Haddock, Miller. An overlap there, and Mullane's put it down. Must be the knock-on, but Cronulla had 2 men who were unmarked outside Mullane, but he couldn't handle the pass. Cronulla having plenty of ball in the second half. That's Kurt Sorensen held up. Still getting it away to Haddock, and that was forward. Well, bad luck for Haddock, because he deserves a reward for backing up in that manner, but the pass just went forward, as we'll see here.
Well, Kurt Sorensen getting through here. You can see Haddock just inside him here, coming through now to support him. Jack Dancy was right alongside that and had no hesitation in penalising.
With Greg Cox finding touch from that penalty to Western Suburbs. Lee Beater.
Jerry Fernley must be very satisfied with his charges here today. Very impressive performance, and like I said, Jimmy Lease had an outstanding game, and he's had some pretty good teammates there too, but I think that Jim Lease has stood shoulders above his teammates with his all-round general play. Terry Lamb, he started the ball rolling with some very good positional play, set his outside backs and gave his outside flank men some very good support. And of course this allowed Wayne Smith to come through and also play a very important part in the game. But also the centres, West centres, Ross Conlon. This fellow, I've been very impressed with his performance. He's set up tries and has scored a good one himself. And his combination with Steve Anderson, there's something like 3 tries scored by the centres, and that's indicative of the way West have played the game. A very impressive performance by the Western Suburbs side.
By 10 metres, Cronulla's half, Dane Sorensen. Williams. Beckett. Miller. Into the movement is Gardner, the centre. Nice tackle there from Calafay. Another good run by Wright. Beckett. It was done the other way round with Haddock at dummy half and Beckett taking the ball. Now Miller. Cronulla not done with yet. Kurt Sorensen. 2.5 minutes to go in the game. 32-10 is the score. That time to Cronulla. And once more the scrum collapsing. Last man off the ground will be Cole Dennis.
It's the second time he's been penalised for that in a very short space of time.
Miller's kick finding touch 15 metres out. This is the last chance probably for Cronulla to get another try on the board. Less than 2 minutes to go. Haddock. West still keeping this straight line defence intact right across the line. And I think that ball is going to be played by Cox. Warren Boland. Gale. Lamb. Merlo. Jimmy Lease. Who I think you will find is going to be very high up in the counting for the Rothmans medal votes at the end of the year. Wests have played inconsistent football, but he hasn't. Brett Gale. Good backing up, and again Wayne Smith bursting onto the ball, streaking downfield. This is Anderson's cross kick. Terry Lamb can't get the bounce, and Cox is there. Got his winger in support. He tries a little kick. Here comes Anderson and knocks it on. Only needed the luck of the bounce there to result in another try, but they get applause and nevertheless for trying something. Just seconds to go now. Mullane. Kurt Sorensen standing to give it to his brother Dane, and he will go to ground with the ball with the full-time siren going, and Western Suburbs running out. Very good winners indeed. Well, 6 tries to 2 was a fair indication of the result, but the thing about the Western Suburbs effort was that all 6 tries were scored by the backs. There was not an element of luck in any of them. None resulted from a bomb, and most were scored from within their own half. Centre Steve Anderson and fullback Wayne Smith each scored 2 tries. Ross Conlon and Steve Broughton picked up the others, and Greg Cox kicked 7 goals from 8 attempts, and for Cronulla, Perry Haddock and Gavin Miller scored the tries. Dane Sorensen kicked 2 out of 2. The scrums favoured Wests 10-9. Cronulla favoured in the penalties by 12-7, but an alarming penalty error count against Cronulla, 14-4. Well, the turning point of the match came immediately after half-time. Wests had led at the break by 10 points to 5, and Cronulla still in the game at that stage. But we saw this very good try scored only 2.5 minutes into the second half, with Jim Lease setting the movement in motion. He made the break, picked good support outside in Terry Lamb, and then on drawing the defence, he had centre Steve Anderson racing away to beat the defence, and this was a very good try that, with the conversion, took Western Suburbs away to a handy lead of 15-5, and from then on, they were never going to be in doubt of winning the game. Well, Reg, there are a lot of very good tries in the match. Which did you select?
Alan, it was difficult today because there were some outstanding tries scored by Western Suburbs. I thought Wayne Smith's second try, scored 18 minutes in the second half, was a ripper. And it's typical of the way Western Suburbs threw the ball around. You see Terry Lamb doing a reverse switch to Bruce Clark, and then Jimmy Lease positioned himself beautifully. He looks for his support, and watch this twist around to fullback Wayne Smith, going straight through for his second try, straight to the line, and it gives West a lead of 25 points to 5.
A great Western Suburbs team effort here today, and of the many fine players, Western Suburbs locked Jim Lees as our man of the match. He featured prominently in 4 of the 6 West tries and got through 29 tackles in a great all-round display.
So a very good result for a Western Suburbs side depleted in the forwards, but their coach Terry Fernley must be asking himself why they can't play like that every week. Wests led 10-5 at half-time. They've run out winners by 32 points.